Reporter Aldrin Sampier, who is in Irene. Aldrin, a very good afternoon to you. There were reports of a group of members who were protesting outside that venue. What can you tell us about that?
Yes, well, earlier on when we arrived here, just ahead of this impromptu press briefing by the Secretary General of the ANC, there were a group of ANC members from the Frances Baard region in the Northern Cape really trying to voice their concerns and unhappiness with regards to what they called members of the ANC or nominees being imposed on the region as well as the different branches. As you'd recall that the ANC process before municipal elections, what happens is that names are being suggested, and then community members, irrespective of their political affiliation, will then decide which member they want to stand as the ANC candidate for that certain ward. Now they insist that some names have been imposed on them and are disputing the nomination process. And as you heard in that sound clip where the Secretary General was speaking, he called it a malicious attempt by these protesters because he says there has been an appeal process. They've gone at least through 3 different appeal processes to raise some of their concerns. But also the province of KwaZulu-Natal is one of the provinces that have been facing such issues as well. And right now I'm joined by the chairperson of the ANC's KwaZulu-Natal, the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala. Good afternoon, sir. Thank you so much for joining us. We've seen the media reports. We've seen the people in KZN being killed. And some say that this is because of political divisions within KZN.
No, there is nothing that says there are political divisions that have caused tensions. There is no political division that could escalate to a point where people will have tensions or kill each other. The issues of the organization are handled within the organization, and all processes of the organization have always been discussed within the organization.
And then how do you explain what happened in Ninjanga, for instance, where 2 SACP members were killed and the accusation was there?
Let's firstly correct it. It's not 2 SACP members. It was a community member and the one guy was a security member. And both of them are members of the ANC equally. And they were not in any of the meeting. It's just that there was a tension between the two. And that is something that happened long time ago at the beginning of the year. You will remember that after that incident, I went there together with the leadership of the SACP. We addressed that situation, and we are dealing with the situation of mediating between the ANC and the SACP in Ninjanga.
And how do you explain the volatility that we've seen in some of the hostels? And in your province particularly, the police have decided to deploy police in each and every hostel to come and find out exactly what's happening in those.
The instability and tensions in hostels is concerning us, especially the Cleveland hostel followed by Kwamashu hostel. That's why we've ourselves as the ANC called on the MEC and the National Minister of Police to ensure that they deploy more security. But also all stakeholders within these hostels are being engaged to ensure that there is at least peace settlement in whatever is happening in both of these 2 hostels.
And you won't reduce that to political tension in the province?
No, the issues of hostels, for instance, Cleveland issue started way back. They started around 1996, and you will not be able to qualify why you say it's political, because it's an issue that has been there, subsiding and coming up, and it has always been said that it's around issues of selling of beds and all of that. So it's an issue that we've dealt with together with the municipality. There are interventions that we've made in terms of ensuring that people who stays there are registered, in terms of upgrading the security and also having a proper management system for people who stays in that particular area.
And let's quickly just speak about the recent developments in your province. Of course, the Premier stepping down. What's your working relationship with the former Premier like?
We've always worked together. We worked together for quite a long time, and we're still going to work together even now.
He says that he doesn't like the way that the PEC dealt with the issue and is going to write to the SG. Is this something that concerns you?
Well, it's not concerning us. It's an issue we will deal with internally, as he explained. If he writes to the SG and the SG or would want to make a follow-up and engage us, we'll deal with that issue internally.
And finally, what do you say to members, or as they call them, factions within the province that have decided to be with the former Premier and some who have decided to run for the elections as independent candidates?
As of now, I know nobody who is running as an independent candidate from the ANC. But secondly, there are no factions. Members of the ANC don't join individuals. They join the organization, the African National Congress. What we can say is that where comrades have problems, whether in a ward where there is a problem of nomination, let them take those issues, take up those issues through organizational processes.
Perfect. Thank you so much.
Thanks.
Thank you, sir. That is the chairperson of the ANC in KwaZulu-Natal, Sihle Zikalala, basically speaking about the tensions that are currently in its province, but basically downplaying whatever is happening at the moment, saying there is nothing of political factions within the province. You'd remember as well earlier this week when the Premier, or right now the former Premier, Kunuri, decided to resign, and this is after he says a message that he got from the PAC that he should vacate the post, and he did indicate that he will be writing to the Secretary General of the ANC to raise concerns around how that issue has been handled. There have also been reports coming from the province that there are candidates or former ANC members who have decided to run as independent candidates because of the political factions that are currently playing out in the province. Alisha, it's back to you in studio.
Aldrin, very quickly before you go, I mean, you are our ears and eyes on the ground. We've just seen the SG answering some questions to the members of the media, but any news on whether the list has been finalized, and do we know of any names on that list yet?
Well, the list has not been finalized as yet, and a clear indication from the Secretary General as well is that today they are dealing with the list conference, and that should be completed by tomorrow. And the only names that they're dealing with are those of local government elections, the candidates for local government as well as the councillor candidates. They're not dealing with the mayoral candidates as yet. And as you've noticed, might have noted previously that the ANC has indicated for the first time they will announce the mayoral candidates that they will be appointed for the different metros as well as some of the different municipalities and sub-regions as well, that those names will be made public. Unfortunately, that process does not take place here, but that will be a later process, and the SG also indicating that they might have to call a special NEC to sit down and confirm those names.
Thank you for that update. Aldrin Sampier, live to us from Irene in Pretoria.